But okay, going to number 2 now, and here's where it gets a little bit dicey for me, because I think there are at least 2, but certainly more than that, who could compete for this number 2 spot. But I'm going to draft Adam Fantilli of the Columbus Blue Jackets. There's another name who I think you're going to be happy to pick number 3, but I'm going to go with Adam Fantilli. Playing for the Columbus Blue Jackets, he has the 4th best odds right now on Sports Betting Dime at plus 2,000, which is some great odds right there to win the Calder Trophy this year. He had 30 goals, 35 assists for 65 points in just 36 games for the University of Michigan last year. NHLE of 115. Again, I'm going to bring that up because I think it's a relevant number to compare. I'm not saying that number is how many points he's going to score, but it is a valuable metric, at least when comparing the different leagues that these rookies played in the year prior. 3rd overall in 2023. He's 18 years old, but what sets him apart from other young 18-year-olds coming into the league, for me anyways, is his sheer size and physical maturity. 6'2", 195 pounds, playing on a Columbus Blue Jackets team that, let's face it, doesn't have a ton of weapons up front, aside from maybe the big 2 in Laine and Gaudreau. So he's going to be relied on to produce offense at 5-on-5 and on the power play. He's slotted in right now at the 3C position, which makes me a little bit weary picking him in the number 2 spot to win the Calder. But I just think this kid is so impressive, and I just had to go with him at number 2. What do you think?
Well, I don't want to break your heart here, but I had him in my 4 on the power rankings. So I'm happy to hear you take him at 2. Although, I definitely wouldn't be surprised if he won. I'm a little skeptical to take the 3rd overall pick at 18 years old winning the Calder. But that being said, Fantilli's always been ahead of the timelines. You know what I mean? He's the freshman scoring, the Hobie Baker, the signing his contract right away as a 3 overall, being like considered on the team before camp. Like, he's always ahead of schedule. So, I mean, maybe he'll shock us here and maybe he'll take it. He did kind of outshine Bedard in the rookie camp, as well as maybe even the preseason, with 2 goals and 2 assists in 4 games. And he's looked really good. So I wouldn't be surprised if he won the Calder this year, but I had him at 4 in the end. I'm pretty bullish on Columbus, as I've mentioned previously in our preseason rankings, and I do think that he has a decent amount of weapons to pass to on this team, but I don't know if it's he doesn't have the number 1 minutes like a Bedard and another guy I want to mention, and he doesn't have the team to pass to like a Luke Hughes or a Matthew Nyes or someone like that. So he's kind of in that middle stage, which is going to make it interesting for him.
Yeah, fair enough. I want to clarify something I mentioned earlier. I said Austin Matthews did not win the Calder. He very much did. Forgive me for forgetting that, Leafs fans. That was back in 2017. Had 69 points that year. Nice.
Yeah, you had me confused enough to not even mention that. I was like, I don't...
Yeah, but the point stands anyway. Some generational players have not won the Calder when maybe they should have. Wayne Gretzky was another one who wasn't classified as a rookie because he came from the WHA. But anyways, I digress. Do you want to move on to the number 3 pick case, or do you want to any final thoughts on Adam Fantilli?
No, that's pretty much it. Now, you have me a little stressed out on who I'm going to take number 2 now, because I just wasn't expecting. I was like, oh, he's going to make it easy and take one of the guys I have here, but you've definitely thrown me off. I think I'm going to go ahead and take Luke Hughes, because if he succeeds this year, I'm going to be that guy who didn't take my player. I'm going to look like an asshole. Like when I mentioned that, Hughes and Dahlin, which one I would take, was a little bit of a toss up for me, Jack Hughes and Dahlin. And now that came to bite me in the ass after last season. And I think I like Luke Hughes' situation, and we got a taste of Hughes last year at the end of the season, where he had a goal and an assist in 2 games. The goal was an overtime game-winning goal where he undressed 2 Washington players and did a wraparound, and it was beautiful. And then they trusted him enough to play 3 games in the postseason last year, where he scored 2 assists in 3 games and he was like playing 21 minutes of ice time against Carolina. So that's nothing to scoff at for sure. And then a reason why I'm taking him a little higher than maybe a lot of people are expecting, and that obviously, you know, I passed up on a guy that I had at number 2 on my draft rankings going into this. But the reason is that when it comes to voting, it seems like defense points count for like 1.1 or 1.2 points in the voters' eyes. And, you know, I know before I say this, there's a lot that goes into it that, you know, it could be time on ice or blocks or hits or whatever. So don't freak out when I say this, but, you know, we saw it a bit last year with Power getting the 3rd most votes with 35 points compared to Michelli at 49 points and Johnston at 41 points. And then the year before, Moritz won the award with 50 points compared to a Zegras at 61 and a Bunting at 63 and Raymond at 57. So I fully think that with Hughes' skating, shot, creativity, like playmaking, he fully has the power to hit 45 to 50 points with his situation in New Jersey and how many weapons he has to dish the puck to. And the one thing that I think a lot of people are maybe holding him back from the Calder predictions is that he's supposed to be playing on the 2nd power play unit. That's what everyone thinks. But if you're following the New Jersey Devils, you know that the 2nd power play unit at the moment is Jack Hughes, Jesper Bratt, Tyler Toffoli, Palat, and Luke Hughes. So I'm not too worried about his power play situation. The first is Hamilton, Meyer, Heischer, Holtz, and Mercer. So they're kind of splitting up the power play to be 2 strong power play units, and it's been working. They scored 3 in the last game and 4 opportunities. So Luke Hughes, he's going to be dishing the puck to a lot of weapons on New Jersey. He's going to be getting decent ice time. I expect him to play around 20 minutes a night. So I think that he's definitely in this discussion. Maybe I took him a little high, but we'll see.
Yeah, I don't mind the pick, Luke Hughes at number 3. I mean, just looking at his season last year for Michigan, 10 goals, 38 assists, 48 points in just 39 games played as a defenseman. Absolutely tore it up. And then, as you mentioned, in his short stint with the Devils, both in the regular season and the postseason, put up numbers as well. So I think 40 to 50 points might even be conservative for him. Yeah. I could see 50 plus points for Luke Hughes, again, depending on opportunity. Right now on Daily Faceoff, he's slotted in to play the 3rd pair on the left side, but who knows how that goes. And again, with power play time, you know, like you were saying, he could get a great opportunity.
I expect him to be playing with Marino in no time.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things, right? Like maybe in training camp, he starts on the 3rd pair and then you're a week into the season and it's like, okay, like I've been playing this kid 20 minutes a night. Like he can't be on the 3rd pair because I just want to play him so much. So I see that.
Yeah, but again, you know, power play, I expect him to get the 1st or 2nd nod in overtime for being the guy on the back end. So he's going to get lots of ice time and lots of situations where he can pass to his brother to put up points.
Very true. Going back to the power play, I sincerely hope that Dougie Hamilton is still the main quarterback for my fantasy team, and just selfishly thinking about that. But going back to picking Luke Hughes at the number 3 spot, he is number 2 in terms of Vegas betting favorites on Sports Betting Dime at a plus 700. So it wouldn't be crazy to think that he could win the Calder Trophy, and there might actually be some value if you think that he'll move up the lineup a little bit. Yeah,
depends on actually what book you're looking at. Like I know that DraftKings has him at 3 or 4, and
yeah.
So
yeah. Very true.